Something's changing in Las Vegas, and it's not just the heat. It's the Raiders' offense, and trust me, it's starting to look dangerous. Let's talk about the one thing no one expected. The Raiders might finally have their offensive rhythm figured out. Quarterback Geno Smith, yes, that Geno, is stepping into the season with weapons that could shock the AFC West. Raiders' sixth overall pick, Ashton Jeanty, is ready to lead the backfield charge. And when that running game clicks, Smith does what he does best, launch deep bombs. Now, who's catching those bombs? Speed demons Trey Tucker and rookie Dante Thornton. Thornton might have been a fourth-round pick, but he's already looked like a breakout star during minicamp. The chemistry? Already brewing. But it doesn't stop there. Second-year tight end Brock Bowers is back, and he's bringing the fire. Add to that Michael Mayer and dependable target Jacoby Myers, and you've got an offense that's not just loaded, it's dangerous. Still wondering if the offensive line can hold up? Before we dive deeper into this Raiders transformation, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss exclusive insights into the silver and black. Now, let's move on to what's happening in the trenches. The offensive line is quietly turning heads. No pads yet, but the Raiders coaching staff has been mixing and matching, and one unit stood out on day 3 of minicamp. Right tackle, DJ Glaze. You all know I've been backing Thayer Munford, but Glaze has taken the leap. Head coach Pete Carroll seems convinced. Glaze looks ready, and this time, he's not dealing with last season's coaching gaps. With Brennan Carroll leading the line and Chip Kelly dialing up the plays, Glaze is finally getting the guidance he needs. Both coaches have been hyping him up all offseason, and now it's starting to show. Pads go on in July, but early signs say Glaze could anchor this line. The Raiders may not be getting national headlines, but if this unit clicks, that's about to change. Here's something Raiders fans need to hear. This offensive line might quietly become the backbone of the 2025 season if the coaching staff plays it smart. At right guard, the job currently belongs to Alex Kappa. Now fans have been harsh on him, but let's clear the air. Last season the man was battling injury, still showed up, still played through it, and yet he caught heat for not being at 100%. Strange how people want toughness, then bash players who tough it out injured. But here's the truth. When Kappa was healthy back in Tampa Bay, he helped protect Tom Brady en route to a Super Bowl, and he held his own against Chris Jones. That's no fluke. That's experience under fire. He's just 30, and if he stays healthy, like he has so far through OTAs and minicamp, the Raiders might have made one of the most underrated moves this offseason. And speaking of underrated moves, here comes the real head-scratcher. Why wasn't Jackson Powers Johnson immediately handed the center job when Andre James went down last year? We're talking about the 2023 Remington Award winner, the best center in college football. Yet, the previous coaching staff buried him at guard. According to Powers himself, he had to tell Coach Pierce he was ready to step in at center. And guess what? The Raiders' O-line looked the best it had all season during that stretch. Then James returned, and Powers was pushed back to guard. Make it make sense. Look, Powers Johnson can survive at guard, but he dominates at center. The Raiders have a star in the making, and this new staff has a chance to correct that mistake. Keep him where he belongs, right in the heart of the line, leading the charge. Because this isn't just about who lines up where, it's about building a unit that can finally turn the Raiders into real contenders. Sometimes the smartest move a franchise can make is finally putting the right people in the right positions. When Pete Carroll and his staff took over in Vegas, one of their first bold moves was cutting Andre James. That opened the door for Jackson Powers Johnson to take command at center, and he hasn't looked back. All offseason, he's been working with Geno Smith and the first team, building the kind of chemistry championship teams rely on. This young center isn't just filling a role, he's redefining it. Powers Johnson could be the anchor this offensive line desperately needed. But there's another name Raiders fans need to keep their eyes on, Thayer Munford. His journey isn't just impressive, it's inspiring. If Munford had declared back in 2021, he could have gone early as a top-tier left tackle, but he kept a promise to his grandmother to finish college. When Ohio State needed a guard, he switched positions without hesitation for the team. The problem? That unselfish move confused NFL scouts. So, in 2022, a potential franchise tackle slipped all the way to the 7th round, where the Raiders took a chance. And now, It looks like that patience is finally paying off. After rotating for 2 seasons with Jermaine Elueminor and missing time last year due to dual hand injuries, Munford is finally back in the spotlight, this time as the Raiders' starting left guard, a position he once dominated as an All-American. Initially, it seemed like that spot would come down to Jordan Meredith or Dylan Parham, but Munford has taken it, and taken over. In fact, Meredith has already shifted to backup center duties. What we're seeing now isn't just an improved offensive line, it's a unit built with purpose. The Raiders aren't just patching holes anymore, they're building a wall. Let's be honest, when your left tackle isn't at full strength, the entire offense feels it. That's exactly what happened to Colton Miller last season. Coming off shoulder surgery, Miller entered the 2024 season without a proper offseason. He wasn't in football shape, and it showed. In the first 4 games, he gave up 6 sacks. But that stretch wasn't who he really is. It was a recovery phase in live action. Once his conditioning returned, Miller flipped the switch. Over the next 13 games, he allowed just 1 sack, reminding everyone why he's one of the most reliable left tackles in the game. The criticism was loud early, but the tape told the real story. Now, fully healthy and moving smoothly, Miller looks primed for a bounce-back start to 2025. That wraps the current starting 5. But in the NFL, depth is everything, and the Raiders are preparing accordingly. While Alex Kappa holds the right guard spot, health will always be a question mark. That's why the front office didn't stop there. They added more security by using a 3rd-round pick in the 2025 NFL Draft to bring in Caleb Rogers, a former college tackle with intriguing upside. Rogers isn't just insurance. He's a developmental piece who could push for playing time if needed. In a league where one injury can shift the season, the Raiders are smartly building with flexibility in mind. If this offensive line stays healthy and connected, it won't just protect Geno Smith. It could define the Raiders' success this season. There's a quiet battle brewing in Raiders camp, and it could shape the future of the offensive line. 3rd-round rookie Caleb Rogers is making waves. While he played tackle in college, his shorter arm length may limit him at that position in the NFL, but what he lacks in reach, he makes up for with excellent footwork and pass protection, and he's a natural mauler in the run game. It's no surprise the front office sees shades of Alex Kappa in him. Back when GM John Spytek was with Tampa Bay, he helped draft Kappa. Now, with both players so similar, Rogers might be more than just a developmental piece. He could be Kappa's successor. But here's the twist. Rogers isn't waiting his turn quietly. He's already taking reps with the first-team offense during OTAs and minicamp. That's not a courtesy. That's a signal. This isn't just mentorship. It's a competition. When training camp kicks off and the pads go on, Rogers will have the chance to earn something bigger than just experience, trust. And if he does, the Raiders may find themselves with a new starter at right guard. The rest of the offense, it's already loaded. They've got a quarterback who throws darts across the middle and drops bombs downfield. On the outside, Trey Tucker and Dante Thornton bring speed that burns. Inside, Jacoby Myers, Michael Mayer, and Brock Bowers move the chains. And in the backfield, rookie Ashton Jeanty can punish defenses with power and burst. But all of that depends on one thing, the offensive line holding up. They're set at center with Powers Johnson and solid at left tackle with a healthy Colton Miller. Now, it's up to DJ Glaze to make his second-year leap at right tackle, Alex Kappa to rediscover his top form at right guard, and Thayer Munford to bring back the dominance he once showed as an All-American. If those 3 rise to the occasion, the Raiders aren't just going to be competitive, they're going to be dangerous.